begin answering the question, we need to look at what it asks. The question asks, suppose a 75 milliliter solution of hydrochloric acid with an unknown concentration is titrated to the equivalence point with 27.3 milliliters of 0.157 molarity calcium hydroxide. What was the concentration of the hydrochloric acid in the original solution? They give us the volume of the hydrochloric acid, but not the concentration, while the calcium hydroxide, we get the volume and the molarity, and this will be important in answering the problem. In our next step, we look at the balancing of the equation. We have hydrochloric acid and calcium hydroxide, which translates into calcium chloride and water. To balance this equation, we look that we have 2 H's on one side and 3 on the other. So to balance this, we put a 2 in front of the water and 2 in front of the hydrochloric acid. There's 1 Ca on both sides, so there's no point in changing that, so we leave a 1 in front of both. And this will be very important later when we look at the mole conversion. In the next step, we draw a diagram to make this problem even easier to picture it. For the calcium hydroxide, we have 1 mole, so we have Ca2 plus and 2 OH minuses. And we have the volume and the molarity, the volume of 27.3 milliliters and a molarity of 1.157. For the hydrochloric acid, we have 2, so we have 2 H pluses and 2 Cl minuses with a volume of 75 milliliters, but we don't know the molarity, which is what we're looking for in this equation. So we move on to the next step to find that. In the next step, we multiply volume and concentration to get moles, but this gives us the moles of calcium hydroxide, which we don't need. So we multiply by the moles of hydrochloric acid divided by the moles of calcium hydroxide, which is 2 over 1. And this gives us moles of hydrochloric acid, which turns out to be 0.00857. And this is where the diagram comes into play because it makes this much easier. In our last step, we divide the moles of the hydrochloric acid by its volume. Since volume times concentration gives moles, so moles divided by volume gives you concentration. Dividing 0.00857 by 0.075 liters of hydrochloric acid gives us the concentration, which comes to be 0.114. And there you have the answer to your problem.